AMC Bigums and Jackson Hunters. That's cool. Whatever.
Yeah, just be like, yeah, good call. Let me hold on.
Yeah, I'm going live right now, Bigums.
Sounds good, buddy. I'm about to pull it up quick.
What's going on, guys? It's Jackson Hunter. I'm live with my man AMC Bigums. He is live on his channel as well. Feel free to hop in here, and we're going to talk AMC and GME.
Get this one chart popped up here.
Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and also, more importantly, subscribe to AMC Bigums' channel. I'll put his link in the description below. We're going to get into some pretty cool stuff. Probably be like 30 minutes to an hour. Hope everybody's night is going well.
Actually, Jackson, I'm going to put you in here as well. Put you right in the middle there, my buddy.
Okay.
So everybody can see it here.
Let me tweet this out.
Me too as well.
While we let people come in here. Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Put you right in the middle there, my buddy.
Man, Bigums, we should do a weekly special, dude.
I'd be down, man. You know that.
That'd be sick.
Little weekly recap. I'd be down, dude.
Yeah.
It's a good week.
What do you guys think in the chat? Bigums and Hunter, weekly recap? Oh, sweet. We got a bunch of people in here. Mario watching Sunday Night Football. Nice.
That's how you do it, man. What's the score
Monday night,
now?
Sunday night, same thing.
I'll turn that on. Put it muted here. Now they got the game going, buddy.
What's up, Rennie, for now? What's up, James? Debbie, how you doing, Debbie? Stock Market Apes, what's good, guys? Brenda hated the suit. Well, Brenda, I'm bringing it back tomorrow just because you hate it.
Wow. I thought you looked good, buddy.
Dude, people like took it seriously. I wore it as a joke.
Just trying to bring some class to the movement. No big deal, you know?
Man, I was just dressing up for fun. Zachary, Holm, what's good? Christopher, Walt, what's going on, guys? The Big Hunt weekly recap. Walt, I like that. Playing some COD while tuning in. Temecula. Oh, I just drove by there today. I was in San Diego for the weekend. What's up, Pam? Pam is in here. Man, Pam came out to my show last week. That was awesome. Hayden's in here. John, see, John wants the suit, man. John wants the suit.
I like the suit, buddy. I'd go back to it as well. Nah. You look good this way, man. More relaxed.
Yeah, man.
Little business cash.
What's up, Mike Torres? Felipe, I'm doing great. How you doing? How's everyone doing tonight, man? I lost fantasy football this week, but hey, it's all good. It's all good.
I did too, man. Team's struggling. I've had so many injuries this year. It sucks.
Yeah, it's still early on, though.
Yeah, but I'm rocking 10th place, unfortunately. Too many injuries. Can't overcome it so far.
Oh, I hear you.
Lost 2 running backs, A.J. Brown, Julio. It's been a struggle.
Oh, man.
I just lost Russell Wilson, man. I'm rocking Derek Carr right now.
That was my quarterback, too, Wilson.
Jets, you know the struggle then, man.
Jackson Hunter, best style in the AMC game. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, guys, we are going to talk about AMC, GME. We got a whole list of things we're going to go through. I'm going to start it off, Bigums, if that's okay.
Of course. Go ahead, man.
You guys know me. My name is Jackson Hunter. Please click the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps a lot. I just make money off of ad revenue. And Bigum, subscribe to his channel as well. His link is in the description below. I fully believe in AMC squeezing. I fully believe in GME squeezing. And I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. So please do not make investments based on what I say in this video. But Bigums, would you like to introduce yourself and maybe start us off with the first topic?
Yeah, like you said, I'm not a financial advisor either, man. I'm just a nerd behind a computer. But yeah, so I just want to go right into the video, actually. So today was actually a pretty good day for everybody. I'm sure everybody tuned in to the Citadel lawsuit versus the SEC. They were trying to sue the SEC about allowing delimit orders on the IEX exchange. Basically, it was going to protect retail orders from latency arbitrage strategies. And what that is since there's like a lag between our phone and their systems, and they have like satellite dishes and they see everything before we do. So what they'll do is they are able to buy these orders before we see them, and then they'll give them to the price that we see it at, and then they pocket the difference. So obviously it's just another form of manipulation, ways for them to make money. But today they had a court hearing and they sounded just like idiots the whole time. The lawyers on the exchanges basically ripped them a new one the whole time. So it was a pretty good day for the apes here.
Nice. And is that the same thing as front running?
I mean, I honestly don't know the difference. I feel like I've read on both the definitions. I'm sure there's a little difference, but they're basically the same thing if they're not.
Yeah. And it's funny because I watched a video recently with I think his name is Brent Katsuyama, the guy that started IEX, right? And he was talking about how people were front running his trades. And the way that they solved it is they got this long cable and they coiled it up. It's like 20 kilometers of this cable. And so nobody could front run their trades anymore. And front running, if you guys don't know, is so if I want to buy 100 shares of AMC, a market maker or a hedge fund might see that I'm trying to do that. And so before I'm able to do that, they buy 100 shares at a lower price, and then they sell those 100 shares back to me at a slightly higher price. And then they, like Bigum's situation, like what he just said, they pocket the difference. And it's only like a penny or two per share, but you do it millions of times over again, you actually make a lot of money. So that's called front running, and it happens to retail every single day. That's my knowledge of that, Bigums.
No, yeah, you're right on, man. And that's the thing, like a lot of people don't understand is the way the market makers, they make their money is through these trades and through these forms of manipulation like that. So, getting rid of that or taking, their ability to do that away is going to be massive for retail.
Yeah.
And massive also for their ability to short retail as well. But also, so I mean, I'm sure everybody saw today on Fidelity, they added to their cell phone app on the iOS system. You're now able to direct route to the lit exchanges. It's only for the iOS system, but it's on the new beta. And if you go on the bottom right on your cell phone, you'll see the 3 dots, and you can actually click on that and test beta. So you don't have to delete it and reinstall the app as well. So it's a great thing for everybody today that we're getting way more attention to those direct exchanges.
Yeah. I believe direct order routing is the way. And it's funny because it took us, a few months to realize what was going on. And, I was talking to Bigums before we started recording, but people always talk about 68% went to dark pool today and 73%. And it's like, well, that number could be lower. Some of that is the retail investors' accountability, right? You got to take accountability for yourself. And most brokers allow you to enable direct order routing. Not all of them, like Robinhood doesn't, but most of them do. and like Fidelity does, and TD Ameritrade, and a whole host of others. So if people do direct order routing, well, guess what? That dark pool percentage goes down. And so I just see that all over Twitter, but people they seldom mention the responsibility that's in the retail traders' hands. So I just think that's important to mention.
No, yeah, you're right on. And it's like the other thing is they make a lot of money on top of that through internalization. And if we get those orders out of that OTC market, they're not able to use those internalizations. So everybody talks about banning, dark pools, but in fact, that would actually hurt the market because you would have these institutions they wouldn't buy during that time. They're actually good if used right. But retail has the ability to get their own orders out of there. And another thing is, a lot of people talk about how, we need to ban payment for order flow. But what you guys don't understand is we have the ability to destroy payment for order flow and get rid of it ourselves and stop relying on the government. If everybody switches to, 3 or 4 platforms and they start using those in direct routing, other companies are going to have to see, hey, they're making way more money through retail buying off these markets than I'm making from, getting payment for order flow from these market makers. So I either need to charge them way more, which now you're hurting the market makers again, or I need to myself change my business model, get away from payment for order flow, and give everybody the ability to direct route. So retail has the abilities. We got to start focusing on things that we're able to control.
Yeah.
Instead of complaining to the government, because we see all the time the government's not going to come in and help us at this point. Half of them, you see it every day when they fight with Gary Gensler. How many are in their pocket? How many you got the media in their pocket? Right now they have a lot of things that are in place to silence us, but we have the ability and the technology now with retail to start to get this information out around the ways they can control it, and that's the stuff we got to start focusing on moving forward.
Yeah, and that's in anything in life. You got to focus on what you can control. There's so many things you can't control, and you will never control how corrupt the government is. You will never control, people getting slaps on the wrist. That's just not in the general public's control. But what you can do, like Bigham said, you can create huge change, starting at an individual level. And I think it's hugely important in anything that you do. If you practice what you preach, I think it goes a long way. And it's just a side note, I go on Reddit and there are so many people that still use Robinhood. And I just laugh every time I see it. I mean, I don't know why.
It blows me away, dude. It blows me away how many still use Robinhood or Webull. It's just as bad.
And they will have like 7 figures in their account, like multiple millions of dollars on Robinhood. Like your money is more safe on a random corner in downtown LA than Robinhood. Like that's just the facts of the matter. They've screwed retail over like multiple times blatantly.
Exactly. And just to continue on that note, just so everybody realizes, I mean, this is just like, it's just like voting, every single share you guys matters. I mean, in the end of the day, this is what I want people to realize, because a lot of people are GMing me, all these people are attacking, and why was this squeeze? Okay, I can put this very, very simple how and still why AMC can squeeze. The people that are shorting us, if retail investors continue to buy, they're going to have to continue to short, number one. And eventually, if we all go to these lit exchanges, everything's going to be recorded. Public data, public data. Well, guess what? Eventually, we'll start to own the float. And if we own the entire float and retail is educated enough and, to learn strategies on how to handle this situation. Even Volkswagen was 11% when it was shorted, and I understand it was one company, but it doesn't matter it was one company. It was the fact that that one company had the leverage and the education on how to get that price to that number. And if retail acted the same way and was educated enough to do that, they can get the same exact results, guys.
Yeah, Bighams, while you're talking, I'm going to share my screen real quick. To give you guys more data behind why AMC is totally capable of squeezing. So this is Fintel. I just subscribed to look at the short squeeze scores because I think it's entertaining, but they do have a lot of cool data. So if you go on AMC, you will see a couple tabs. So we're going to go to short interest owners. Now you can sort it by how many shares they have. So this is short, right? So these are the top, whatever, 15, 20 companies that are short AMC. Simplex, Susquehanna, Jane Street, Citadel, 683, IMC. Okay, now let's go to GameStop and do the same exact thing. Owners, short interest owners, sort it by how many shares they have. Bam, Susquehanna, Simplex, Citadel, Jane Street, IMC. Do you notice a pattern here? AMC and GME are shorted by the same large hedge funds. So if GameStop squeezes and these institutions right here lose capital, well, they might not be able to meet a margin call, or they might pull out of their short on AMC or something else. So just wanted to share that piece of data that people seem to overlook, I guess.
No, and you're right. And like I said, on top of that, like you said, they're doing it. Most of those are market makers, so they're going to have no choice but to keep on shorting, or hedge funds that are in bed with those market makers. So they're going to keep shorting and borrowing to each other. So like I said, if retail continues to educate each other and buy on these lit exchanges, though the 16% will be right back up to 21% right before everybody knows it. And there's a lot of filings and a lot of changes that I hope everybody notices, just like Fidelity. I hope everybody realizes we are making a change. Fidelity did that because it was the #1 requested thing on their entire application, was give us the ability to go direct route on our cell phones. And if you guys do that to these, like I said, if we start, it's very easy to destroy payment for order flow without the government's help. Every single thing in the world is about money. And if you take money away from them, like I said, you guys, the way retail can, one of the things that they can do is look at their allies. Well, who are their allies? Obviously, right now, it's these, prime brokers, these broker dealers that are selling us these shares, that are giving them the flow. And if you start, like I said, to make them change their ways, well, guess what? That takes away a lot of liquidity from these market makers. They're going to have to make that in other directions. And like I said, the #1 way they make trades is to bring liquidity into the market and to provide all these trades and to get that flow. There's a reason why they pay that much money for it. So like I said, we can destroy payment for order flow.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, if you're wondering why you're just seeing my big fat head, Bigums doesn't show his video on the Zoom call, so it just shows me. You can feel free to watch this on Bigums' channel as well. We're both streaming it. But yeah, and I think my viewers know the kind of the route I've taken the last couple weeks or so. I think crypto is the future, and I think crypto is going to shape the future of GameStop and possibly AMC stock as well. Nothing's changed with my holdings. I only own shares in AMC and GME, but the things that I've read and the things that I've looked into have convinced me that GameStop is really taking the offensive stance here, and that's why I really like the company. And then Adam Aaron just came out and said that AMC is looking to issue cryptocurrency as well. So there's only, a couple reasons why a company like that would issue cryptocurrency. So those are the things that I'm focusing on. There's other members of this AMC community that choose to focus on other things. And I was just in a space call with Tara and all the other YouTubers, and it's awesome that people can have different points of views on things, right? Like, I don't care so much about what happened in January, simply because that's the past. They'll probably get, at worst, a slap on the wrist. Probably nobody's going to jail.
On top of that, let me just cut off the thing in January too quick. You also got to realize too, just to add on that note. So in January, I mean, it's insanely simple. Obviously, those algorithms, they got caught with the short interest, and those algorithms learn too. So it's like, what happened in January, they're the smartest people in the world. They're going to find every loophole and gray hole, or gray area they can to correct that from happening again. So focusing on what happened in the past, like you're saying, is not it is a way. Yes, it does matter what they did. We need to expose that because they shouldn't get away with that. But you guys got to realize that that's not going to be the answer necessarily to push this forward, or they're like, here you go, here's the expose all, and now they have to give it. So yes, people should pay attention to that, but we need to pay more attention to, like you're saying, things we can do to move forward and finally win this thing. And like you were saying with that crypto thing with Adam Aaron, without us obviously talking about this, like I said, guys, this is another change that we are making. So sorry, but to cut you off, go ahead.
No, that was good, man. It's just my point is that there are people with large followings, and some of them don't see things the same way, and that's perfectly fine. You know, I'm focused on cryptocurrency more than I am technical analysis, and I'm focused on cryptocurrency more than I am a lawsuit about January. You know, I understand people lost a lot of money, but what, you're trying to wait 5 years just to get a settlement check? No, I don't think any apes are in this to get a settlement check. I think they're in this to change their lives. Okay, so yeah, just confused why people were focused on that, but yeah, that's all the time I want to spend on that, really. But what's the next order of business, Bigums?
And let's see here, man. We got a whole bunch to talk about here still. So let's look at another couple.
We can talk about whatever, man.
So let's talk about some more ways that retail can start to move the ball forward. Because like you said, let's stop focusing on all this nonsense. That's one of the problems. Like, as a community, we're so divided. We're so split. Everybody's so... You guys, get over it. I get everybody loves a YouTuber. That's fine. But just because you love somebody doesn't mean you have to take their word as gospel. We need to all come together and stop going, oh man, we're watching Ortex, we're doing this all day, and start going, all right, how do we move forward? And it's very simple. Another way we can start to move forward is look at, and a lot of people don't get this, like I said, we can get rid of payment for ourselves, dark pool ourselves. Now you look at the other allies and you go, all right, who else is helping them? And I went over ISDA contracts with everybody, and these banks, these central banks, you guys, they're in charge, they're regulator, they're governing everything. And like you were saying with the cryptocurrency, the DTC, you know, they're helping them a little bit too. And I'm going to go ahead and get into that as well in a second here. But it's like there's so much stacked against retail right now that it's like there's certain things that we can do to change the system. The only reason the system is the way it is in such a place is because those people are paying money to keep it that way, and they have more money than we currently do. But so back to what I was saying here. So some of the things that we can do, again, is like I was talking about with those banks. Those banks, they're using your own money against you that's in your savings account. Now think about that. They're using shares against us. They're using our own money against us that's inside our bank accounts. So what, you know, smart thing retail can do now to also take away more allies and take more liquidity away from these market makers, move your money out. You know, obviously, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't, you know, don't necessarily have to do this, but this is something that
You're just a genius, Bigums. That's all you are.
One of the thing is, it's like, all right, guys, think about this. Truly think about this. How do you hurt a rich person? They want to talk about, all right, let's do a lawsuit. Does that hurt a rich person? No. They're going to laugh you out, buy lawyers, and like you said, drag this out. They know every single person. They got judges in their pockets. You think they're going to use those judges? I mean, you guys, let's be real. We're going to spend now all this money on lobbying, doing this. Why? We can use that. Instead of using money to lobby and do that, how about we use that money to educate?
I'd rather buy shares.
Or buy shares, yeah, exactly. Or the reason I would say to use that to educate, maybe make a commercial on retail. The only thing that really drives me nuts about some of our YouTuber peoples, all right, you guys have this platform and you're on television. Why aren't you telling everybody around the world, you guys, we have the ability. Order to a lit exchange. Stop saying that they're using the dark pools. Who cares? Tell everyone how to get out of those dark pools. You know what I mean? That's a massive deal. Education is huge. Most of these people, you know, the problem was right away they had all these Weeble links. They had all these things that sent everybody in the beginning where we had all this money right away, all the newer apes, and that's the problem. This is one of the things that I try and stress the most. a lot of them, the big money coming into AMC, it's going to be the newer people that are learning about it, getting, super excited. Everybody else, we're already giving what we can. We're making money on the side, obviously putting that in, but we're putting in, what we can on the side. We're still paying our bills, but it's those new people that you want to teach the correct way right off the bat, because a lot of those people, when they put that giant, like you said, I see people, they'll retweet my thing on payment for order flow. The next day, they put up a picture on Robinhood. I just spent 10K. What do you mean you just spent 10K on Robinhood? Why would you do that? Like you were saying, it's like, so education is the most important way. But like I said, taking money out of these banks, the only way you hurt a rich person, like I said, if you try to take them to court, they're going to laugh you out. If you try and march in the street, guess what? We saw the pictures, you guys. They pointed above us and laughed. They didn't give a fuck. They're going to do the same thing. The only way you hurt a rich person, you take money from their business. You start taking money out of their pocket, or you start taking money out of the pockets of their friends that are helping them keep that power. And this is another reason why I stress too so much now lately is everybody, all right, let's go to lit exchanges. But now what I'm learning on top of that, let's go to the right lit exchanges. Because as we see, the New York Stock Exchange chairman, without that guy's help and that donation Ken Griffin gave him, Citadel also wouldn't be in the power that they had. They bought a company called ICM back in the day that they needed the chairman's approval, and he donated $2 million to his wife, Ken Griffin did, and what do you know? He got the approval right away. So you got to look at, the right routes. This IEX seems to be for retail. Obviously, NASDAQ is always, the way to go. But education, like I said, it's an amazing tool, and it's something that we can now spread. And every one of us, instead of just liking tweets, don't just like a tweet, retweet it if you think it's got everything. Start talking about it, educate your friends. Me and you, we're only two people, man. We can talk about it all day. Me and you have talked about this for months and months and beat this over, and it's barely getting traction because everybody's focusing on all the wrong things. But another thing I also wanted to get into, because like we were talking about the DTC, this new video I put up, it's another gray hole that gray area, another loophole we found out, and this is another reason why it's so important to get these orders out of this OTC market, and that's how they do all their problems, you guys. That's how they do everything. Let me move your screen here, Hunter. Hunter Jackson was here. You're like my whole screen, bro. There we go. So it's called CNS. It's continuous net settlement. And like he was saying with the DTC and those cryptocurrencies, and why it's so important, and why Ryan Cohen is trying to get this away from the DTC, because they have what's called continuous net settlement. And this continuous net settlement is another gray area that I want to show people. And basically, it'll just take a couple minutes here, but just to show everybody, it's just like shorts. Similarly, CNS has no effect on the issuer's total outstanding shares. So it's like another area where it's like, hey, let me just go ahead and grab some more shares here quick. But on top of that, you have market makers may maintain temporary short positions in CNS until such times as there's significant trading to flatten out their positions. And one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting as well is, so if you look down here, it says the NSCC does not have the authority to execute a buy-in on behalf of its members. And what that means is, so let's say I'm let's see here, come down here quick. So let's say I'm a member of this program, and I'll show you guys the members. It's absolutely disgusting. So these members are able to do this stuff, and if they don't return this after T+3, so they get T+3 settlement to return these. And basically what this system does is it's a giant centralized system. Let's see here. Of course, I have too many tabs open. So basically, it's a giant centralized system. Basically, think of like a giant safe in the middle, right? And that's where the DTC has these shares. And they can sit there. I must have moved it. Oh, here it is. Sorry. All right, so you got this giant safe, okay? And you got these shares, and they're able to, everybody on this is able to go ahead and borrow these shares. And when, let's say they borrow shares, what it does at the end of the day is it takes all their totals, and they're able to go ahead and so it's called netting. And basically what they're able to do is borrow these shares. So before, they used to, if they needed shares to find these, they would, if they didn't know certain, brokers, they would have to contact others to get into, each other, or to get a hold of each other to get those shares. It was like people nonstop on the phone with people all the time. Well, with this new system, basically, now they can go ahead and, as you can see here, so you got broker dealer 5, broker dealer 3, let's say 4 needed shares. Well, they can go ahead and deposit it, and then they go ahead and pay those. Or let's say broker dealer 6 needed those shares. Well, broker dealer 1 would deposit it. He can now withdraw those, and then he just pays those off top. So it's like a giant centralized system. But as you can see, they're able to go ahead and use this centralized system to again make more shorts, delay things. And this is where I feel like a lot of the times when we sit there and all these Ortex data is obviously on top of it. They're able to hide shorts, they're able to move them off exchanges, all those other things that we discovered. But this is another way that they're able to take these short positions. So if you look down here as well, some of the benefits to this is right down here, where is it? These members can be exempt from certain short positions to avoid segregation violations and effectively meet other delivery needs. So most of the time, and this is it's market makers, it's people with those exclusions. So instead of having to use those shares real quick to purchase them back or whatever, they can use those as obligations to send them out to us. So on top of that, if you look at all the people who use this is all the people that use this. Obviously, you got Citadel, you got all the city banks, but like I was saying, it's all these banks and these bank subsidiaries, because what they can do, everybody always wondered, how are they, like Citadel Securities and their subsidiaries.
Hey, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Hey, can you share your screen so we can see what you're looking at?
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen, dude.
No, it might have been my fault.
Got it.
There we go. Cool. Nice.
So you didn't see any of that?
You were on the website, right? With the CNS and then the diagram.
Yeah, I was showing you like this. Did you see this stuff, like the DTC website and stuff?
Yeah, I saw it. I was just lagged like 10 seconds behind. So now it's good.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, 1 second here. Pull this back up here. So yeah. So you got, like I said, here you got Citadel, Virtue's all the way down at the bottom. I mean, look at these people. They have tons of subsidiaries, so they could sit there and, we always wondered how they can't communicate because it's illegal. But when they use this system, they can just go ahead and borrow it anyways. They're not communicating. They're using this system. But as you can see, like I said, you can go all the way down to Virtue has a ton, JP Morgan. All these banks have just multiple of these things. Yeah. But it's just another thing. So like you were saying, getting these things away from the DTC is massive for that crypto coin. And basically, like I said, so about these buy-ins, this is something I wanted to show people. So this is why a lot of people believe that they're able to this is how they're creating synthetic shares in a massive way. So they're called buy-ins. If you don't buy it back in T+3, you have, I'll go ahead and show you this real quick. So it's called an unfilled position, and you have to do what is called a buy-in. But right here it says, NSCC has no authority under SEC rules to force a buy-in. The DTC officials explain that approximately 6,000 notices of intentions to buy-in are filed each day, with 20 resulting in execution. So they're just sitting here, like I said, borrowing from this thing, covering with each other, and they're supposed to be paying these back. But then they got those rules that, no, we don't have to, as long as we have obligations, other obligations for a delivery need. So if we have other orders, we can go ahead and switch it over to there to cover. So like I said, all these certain things are just more manipulation. But in the end of the day, if we get our orders out of the OTC market, they're not able to do this. And this is another way that they're able to use internalizers and things like that. And another way that they're able to find those shares that we were talking about to do that latency arbitrage.
Yeah.
But I just figured, that was another quick thing that, be pretty interesting for everybody to learn. But do you have anything to go on? Otherwise, I got a couple other things to talk about that we're currently working on. A couple people to hopefully have some changes going forward.
Oh yeah, I'm backing that as well. No, the continuous net settlement is something I know very little about. I've learned from you what I know. I've learned from you, and I keep things simple. To me, it's just another loophole, and so that's just another reason why I'm not relying on any regulation or anything like that, dude. If they were trying to make this a fair market, they would have done something more in 9 months. That's just how I see it. Okay. Like they have the means, they have the wherewithal to make this a fair market if they wanted to, but it's October. and the BS happened in January. Like, like it's almost been a year. So,
Oh yeah, exactly. They would
I'm
have.
just the government and the regulations and the regulatory systems. I'm not waiting for them to save us.
No,
I
like
think
I said,
something
they're getting
else is going to
paid.
save us.
They're getting paid to not save us, guys. Remember that. They're getting paid to not save us.
Yeah, they're trying to get reelected, man. They don't care about anything but money.
Yeah, and most of the regulators are getting, jobs from these guys, so they're not trying to prosecute these guys to the full extent like they could. They hit them with the smaller fines instead of hitting them because they don't want to. Oh God, I might have prosecuted a future employer. I better take it easier on him. He'll look better on me, when I go to apply for a job.
Yeah, those guys really care about like careers. They're career oriented, They're not like us apes. We don't give a shit.
Exactly. Just because I almost forgot to do this here, and I know a lot of people are watching.
Oh, here we go. Nice.
I forgot to show everybody this. So ways I found on some platforms. I just want everybody to realize there's a couple. There's more than a couple options here on how to go to a lit exchange. If you're on E-Trade, you actually can get their app, and if you look here at the top, you can order, and the destination is right there. You can send it to the IEX. Can you see my screen big enough, or is it small on your screen?
It looks good. It looks good.
Perfect. So that's how you do it on E-Trade. Right here, if you do it, and like we were saying before, if you do it on, you still have to do it if you're on Android. You still have to do it on the Active Trader Pro. But if you come up here on the top, you'll see settings. It'll say direct route. Click on that. Come down here. I always do the NXMS. Like I said, it's the NASDAQ. You don't want to do. Even if you're doing, everybody's like, oh man, I want to do NYSE if I do 100. No, like we said, we saw that the chairman of the NYSE is not our friend. So add it to our friends. You can either do them, or the IXE is now added as well. Or if you're on a cell phone, like I said, I could show you as well if you want. But on TD Thinkorswim, if you do a limit order, you can actually come over here and it'll say the exchange, and you can put it straight to the NASDAQ.
And before you're able to do that, you actually have to log on to tdameritrade.com. And I believe you go to settings, and I think it says enable direct order routing. You check that box, and then you're able to select that exchange. Just want to throw that in there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't really use that one as much, so appreciate that. And
but they'll help you out too. Dude, customer support will help you out. They'll let you know.
That's awesome, dude. And then, so definitely all three of those. And then on interactive brokers, you can go ahead and go on. Sorry about that. And then, 1 second, I was muted on mine. Sorry about that. And then, let's see here. So also, the other one we got here is Trading Station. If you get their app as well, you can go ahead and put it over here, do another limit order, sorry. And then you can go ahead and pull it down. This guy did the NASDAQ, but like I said, if you can do IEX, he did the New York Stock Exchange, but do NASDAQ, or on this one, I'd do IEX. I don't really see the NASDAQ on here. But also, I don't have it pulled up, but on Charles Schwab, if you do... sorry, I don't know why I have Charles Schwab. Give me 1 second here. On Charles Schwab, if you do their Street Smart app, I believe it's called, if you do a limit order on that as well, you can go ahead and pull down the limit order, and it'll do the same thing. But you got to have the Street Smart app.
Yeah. And that's all good information. That's if you want to directly route your orders to a lit exchange, okay? So if you're tired of your orders going through the dark pool, well, there's the solution.
Yep. I'll find E-Trade is why we're talking here as well. I have so many pictures up on my phone here. But do you have anything else to add on that, or do you know any other brokers that I haven't mentioned at all, other than those 6?
Dude, that covers the main ones that people use. I personally use Thinkorswim and Fidelity. Very simple to route your orders directly, even on the phone. And that's really good news about Fidelity. You can do it now on the iOS, but I guess Android, you got to wait a little bit. So on Fidelity on your iOS app, you are allowed to do direct order routing, and I think that started today. So this is all. It's really easy stuff to do. It takes less than 60 seconds, but it can make a huge impact. And if retail is really, shouting that they want a fair playing field, but they're not doing this, well, there's a disconnect there. So, and like you said, it goes back to education. I'm learning so much. I'm sure you're learning so much. I remember people might not know this, but me and Bigums have been talking for months and months. And I remember the first time you told me about direct order routing, and another light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, well, shit, this is what we should have been doing, or what I should have been doing since the beginning. And ever since that call about direct order routing, I started putting in my videos what's delaying the MOAS, and I put indirect order routing, and I did that every day for like 3 or 4 months. And now I every once in a while remind people that if you want your orders to really count immediately, direct order routing is the way to go. Otherwise, your broker, well, specifically a market maker, is going to take your order and they're going to put it over here in a dark pool, and it's not going to affect the chart immediately. Okay. At least not immediately, but I don't know about you, but I want my shares to count. It should be a democratic system. We live in the United States. So if I'm buying shares of my hard-earned money, I'm spending $4,000 on 100 shares of AMC. I want that to affect the chart, and I want that to affect the share price. So the way to do that is direct order routing. And it's you just choose a lit exchange. You choose NASDAQ. In some instances, you might want to choose NYSE, but it looks like really NASDAQ or IEX is the best option out of those three.
Oh yeah, like you said, we're learning every day. I didn't really know about the IEX as much, but I used to go to the NYSE when I had bigger orders, and now I know not to go there as well. So like you said, we're learning every single day.
Yeah. The apes are evolving, man. The apes are evolving.
Oh yeah. And then a couple other things here, a couple other projects that I want to go ahead and share with everybody that some of us are working on also to help us out is some of us are making a letter, and it's going to be a template that retail can use that we can go ahead and send to these politics to say, hey, we notice these things in the market, and if we don't see these certain changes, because I know not everybody knows exactly what to type or they even understand it themselves, but if we all sit there and continuously send it to these politics, hey, you'll be voted out of office. I can tell you guys, if they notice enough of these people saying it to them that they'll be voted out of office, they'll finally do something about it. So we're going to go ahead and start this template out, and I want to go ahead, and when we get that going, I'll spread it out as well. So this will go ahead and write it for everybody, but getting these politicians on our side is critical. And I'm not, I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. If they're taking money from you, that should be more important. They have every one of us brainwashed on, oh, you got to be on this side or this side. It doesn't matter. Who's helping you? That's what you should focus on. And if these guys aren't going to help us, then why are they an elected official? What is their job?
Vote them out.
Yeah.
Vote them out.
Their job is to help the citizens. And if they're not going to do that, if they're going to be Nancy Pelosi and they need to start out with, $300,000 and every one of them need to end up with $150 million from taking bribes, from doing all this stuff, insider trading, because, they pay them in all these, super sneaky ways now, man. I'll give them speech money. Speech money is like, they'll give these guys $2-3 million to come do a speech.
Yeah.
And it's like, like I said, it's just a complete joke. So getting these politicians on our side, getting these letters out is going to be a massive thing that we can actually focus on doing. And another thing that we're doing, user.
Hey, Bigums, real quick.
Yes, sir.
I wrote a letter to my government officials. So if you want to take a look at that, I can send that over to you. I wrote it a couple months ago.
That would be awesome. Yeah, definitely, dude. You should send that to us for sure.
Yeah.
And then another thing that we're working on, Astro, that guy Astro on Twitter, user intellect, like you were saying before, we're currently working on a stock logger. So everybody will actually have their own account. You'll have to provide, not as much information as everybody, like we don't have to log into your account, your broker account, like they were doing on the other site, but it'll be a way that we can track everybody. You have to do a couple steps to prove that you have those shares, but this way it's not going to also limit everybody who's only in the United States like the other site and everything did. We can get it worldwide, and it's people that we know are in the movement, that we all, I believe, can trust. And I just think it's going to be something that we can use just to show people as well. If this many people, like you were saying, obviously that was working before, or they wouldn't have bought it and put a silence to it, exactly like they were going to, or like they did. I'm sorry. So we go ahead and do something like this, log the float. It'll be something that I think we can also use. So, we want to go ahead and use something like that. And another thing also is Astro started, because another thing a lot of people place they get their information is Reddit. And I thought about doing this a while back, but I know the problem with a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people that are influencers or whatever you want to call them is, they're all busy doing these things. But if we could get, a group of trusted people to run a Reddit site to give that correct information out, and then the community's holding these guys responsible. It doesn't need to be, the problem with AMC stocks, super stocks, all those things is they got so many mods. You got all these children that are just there nonstop applying, and it's like if you have 5, 6, 7 dedicated individuals to running that, educating the right way, that could go a long way as well. So those are a couple things that we can focus on as retail, getting those certain things out to other apes.
Yeah, for sure. I am backing Log the Float 100%. User of Intellect and I have been talking. Bigums is backing it. Astro's backing it. A lot of trusted individuals in the community are backing it. I can't wait for this thing to launch. So just to piggyback off of what Bigum said, it's going to be kind of like the Say Technologies vote, but you're not going to have to log into your broker. I know a lot of people were a little bit weary of that, and I understand it. So my knowledge of it right now is you're going to take a screenshot of how many shares. So it's really going to be based on the honor system. But there is going to be an AI tracker to make sure there's no like double counting, and like there's going to be an IP address verification as well. What's up?
Yeah, I was just going to say that just because a lot of people would be like, well, yeah, they're going to check metadata so people can't sit there and send in the same thing or change things around. So there are ways that we're going to be able to verify things as well.
Yeah, the bottom line is it's going to be as legit as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Second to going to the DTCC and counting up the shares, this is your next best bet. And you know what? I think we're going to be able to log the entire float, if not more. So as soon as that's out, we'll let you guys know. But User of Intellect said early November, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we'll definitely get more than the float, especially with a lot of the ways that we're finding that they're able to move shorts and shares with is other, I've put up flex options before is the contracts. They go ahead and use those other exchanges. So I believe if we could get those counts that are hidden in those other exchanges as well, that'd be massive for us.
And also, it's not just AMC. It's going to be AMC and GME. So I'm stoked about that. So I think both parties will be happy. Stop the fighting, guys. Stop the fighting. I'm invested in both companies, and it's just childish to talk crap about another stock.
It really is, man. It really is. And at the end of the day, we're all getting fucked, as you saw, by the same exact people. So once one wins, the other one should go with it.
Yep, exactly. Do you have anything else, Bigums, or is that it, brother?
No, let me think. We talked about banks. Like I said, they're using money against us. Politics, letters. Should be all good for me, man. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, man. I think the AMC and GME shareholders are going to make a lot of money. That's my belief. If you don't have the same conviction as I do, maybe do a little bit more research. I'm not sure, but remember, Investing is an individual game at the end of the day. It's your money, it's you hitting the buy and sell button, and you have to deal with the consequences of that, right? Same way that I have to. So remember that we have this beautiful community and you can learn from, and we can all talk amongst each other and share cool ideas. But at the end of the day, it's money you're gaining or losing. And so you have to be cool with your decisions. And I am 100% cool holding only AMC and GME. I play options on the side with other companies every once in a while, but for the most part, I just hold these stocks and it's worked pretty well so far. So Bigums, man, I love you. And hopefully we can do this again, brother.
Oh yeah, I'd be down, man. Right back at you. You know, I always love you, man. Everything you did for me, I always appreciate it, buddy. But hey, if you want to do a weekly thing, you let me know, buddy.
Yeah, dude, I'm down. I'm down. You know I am. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Bigums' channel. His link is in my description below. Subscribe to my channel as well. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. We'll talk to you
All
soon,
right.
man.
Peace, guys.